Hi, this is Françoise, and welcome to this very flavorful and special episode of Traveling with Françoise. When we travel the world, we taste cuisines that we never think we could find at home. But in this episode, I'm going to show you where you can try authentic cuisines from around the world right here at local restaurants in our own backyard. So welcome to Traveling with Françoise.
Hey, want to travel? I'll take you there. Want to dine? I'll tell you where. Play golf? I'll pick the spot. Nightlife? I know what's hot. It's never too late to get a life.
Our first stop is France, one of the most popular tourist destinations in the world. When we think of a trip to France, the first place that comes to mind is Paris, or Paris, home to the Eiffel Tower, the Louvre, Palace of Versailles, and even Disneyland. We also think of French bread and chocolates. But let's broaden our adventures and visit Lyon, about 2 hours south of Paris by train, and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Lyon has 2,000 years of history etched on its cobblestone streets where travelers can explore one of Europe's most extensive Renaissance neighborhoods and 2 Roman amphitheaters, still used today for rock concerts. Lyon is a popular destination offering first-class shopping, antique markets, a vibrant arts and culture scene, and a range of interesting museums, along with a fabulous culinary experience, because Lyon is also known as a gastronomic capital of France. Lyon first made its mark on the French culinary scene in the 19th century, when the city was the center of the booming silk industry. Hungry silk workers clustered in tiny bistros called bouchons to consume the robust, cheap fare necessary to carry them through their 18-hour workdays. Today, the bouchons are everywhere, offering traditional Lyonese menus centering around meat, particularly offal, a variety of meats including beef, veal, mutton, lamb, and pork. Many of the contemporary bouchons serve more upscale French cuisine, such as foie gras and truffles. But for many Lyonnese, true bouchons offer foods that are distinctly unpretentious. With so many relatives in France, I've been fortunate enough to indulge in authentic French cuisine. Can you imagine how excited I was to find out that right here in Palm Desert, we have our very own bouchon called cuistot. With us here at Cuistot is the owner and celebrated chef, Chef Bernard Derbieux. Hi, Chef.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I am fine, thank you. You have such a beautiful restaurant here. It is not your typical desert design.
It's not.
So now I see Leon on the wall behind us back
Yes.
there. Tell us a little bit about the restaurant. Where does all this inspiration come from?
It comes from a French farmhouse, actually, that I grew up in near Lyon, in France. And that's why you have the beams. And the only thing is missing is the cow and the goats.
All right, well, maybe we can bring a cow and a goat in. Now, it is just, every room is different. How many rooms do you have here for your guests?
Well, we have 3 different rooms. You know, we have the little wine room that sits about 40. Then we have the middle room there that they call it the Bernard's room, which sits about 70. And we can do 100 in the main dining room. Then we, of course, we have a lounge here. And we have 2 patio, one in the front and one in the back.
Is there any one special spot in this restaurant that really takes you back home?
One special, maybe the corner table over there where I used to sleep when I was a kid.
So I think it's time for us to let's go have some food tastings. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Chef Bernard, well, now it's time to talk about the fabulous dishes here that you have at Cuistot. Now, I looked up the meaning of Cuistot, and I found that it means cook. Is that correct?
Well, cook, it's not really correct, but it means somebody that works in the kitchen in a casual way.
All right, someone that loves to be in the kitchen just like you do.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about the dishes in front of us. What do we have here?
Well, we have, for starting, an appetizer, crab salad with exotic fruit and raspberry vinaigrette. Then we have a rack of lamb that is simply roasted with herbs, with lamb jus. And we have also a tarte tatin, which is a classic French dish with vanilla ice cream.
And you mentioned the word classic, and we're trying to let people know that before they go to France or after they get back, that they can come to Cuisines and sample some authentic French dishes. Where do a lot of your recipes come from?
Some are classic recipe, but even the classic recipe are adapted to my style. There is no really a real classic too much anymore, but those are based, like the rack of lamb and the tarte tatin, are based on a classic recipe that I kind of manipulated a little bit to fit my restaurant and my style of cooking.
We talk about you being from Leon, so how does the food different from Leon recipes to the recipes and the dishes that people will find in Paris?
Leon has a very unique style because it's more of a country food that was made it a little bit more artistic for restaurant.
It sounds delicious, and I can't wait to sample some of the foods here. And of course, when your guests come into Cuisines, you have a variety of different types of foods on the menus, meat dishes, seafood dishes. Tell us a little bit about your wine selection.
Wine selection, we have lots of wine, lots of French wines, and we have wines from all over, we have Italian wines, we have, of course, lots of California wine and West Coast wine. And we are very proud to say that we have the Spectator Award almost every single year for the last 25 years.
So if you're looking for an authentic French fix in cuisine, the place to come is right here in Palm Desert at Cuisines. Bon appetit!
My name is Bernard Dervieux, owner of Cuisines Restaurant. To me, cooking is about sharing. As a young boy, I dreamed of opening my own restaurant. Growing up in the farm, I remember the sight and smell coming from my mom's kitchen. It gave me a feeling that I wanted to pass to others, the experience of home French cuisine. As a man, I am truly blessed to have my childhood dream and memory comes true. Please come share my passion at Cuisines.
This portion of Traveling with Françoise is brought to you by Indian Ridge Country Club in Palm Desert. Love where you play. Diane Williams and Associates. Trust experience, experience trust. Pokehana in La Quinta and Palm Desert, home to the fresh crafted poke bowl. Bonta Restaurant and Bar in Cathedral City for incredible culinary cuisine. Welcome back to Traveling with Françoise. For our next stop, it's time to put on our Hawaiian skirts, our beautiful leis, and taste the culinary delights of the Hawaiian Islands. Consistently ranked in the top 10 places to visit are the Hawaiian Islands. Hawaii consists of 136 islands, 7 of which are inhabited. The remaining islands are actually small islets and coral reefs. The most popular inhabited islands are Hawaii, Kauai, and Maui. Hawaii offers travelers pristine beaches, turquoise-colored waters, and adventures galore. All of this and more while keeping tradition and history intact. When most people think about agriculture in Hawaii, the crops that come to mind are sugarcane, pineapple, macadamia nuts, and coffee. However, traditional Hawaiian dishes include poi, a thick paste made from taro root, similar to a yam or potato but with a starchier flavor that is either steamed or baked and pounded. Kalua pig, cooked in an underground oven known as the emu, the pork slowly roasts so it becomes extremely tender and retains a remarkable smoky flavor. And poke. Not that pokey. Poke is the Hawaiian version of Japanese sashimi, or raw fish. Instead of slicing the fish thin, like for Japanese sashimi, Hawaiian poke is served in bite-sized, hearty chunks. The most common type of fish used is ahi tuna, but a number of other kinds of fresh saltwater fish are also used, offering diners dozens of varieties of poke to try. One of the fastest growing dishes on the islands is the poke bowl. Joining us now is Daniel Lee. He is the owner of Pokehana here in La Quinta, where you can have this very tasty bowl of food. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Françoise.
Well, now you are from a successful family of restaurateurs, but how did you stumble across poke and the poke bowl?
Well, I first discovered poke, I have family in Hawaii. And when I was visiting, they took me to a a really small little shop, a little poke shop. It's just kind of like a hole in the wall. And there they serve poke. And that's kind of where I first tried it, and it was just so good. And it kind of falls in line with some of the other restaurants that we do, and it just kind of came a little bit naturally after that.
So it is a Hawaiian dish.
Yes.
And it's served all across the Hawaiian regions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're in for a real treat. Daniel, make your favorite poke bowl.
I like a little bit of brown rice, so I'll go with this one here. And I like to put a little bit of cucumber in there. Add a little bit of onion here too. Kelp noodle, and what it is it's basically a lot of fiber, and it's 0 calories, but it adds a little bit of crunch to your bowl.
And there's no one bowl that ever is the same.
No, everyone kind of just makes it their own, and everyone, you decide.
Okay, all right, so let's keep going.
All right, here I add some hijiki seaweed, and you'll find that in Hawaii as well. The classic, poke comes with ahi tuna. I'm a little bit biased. I like some salmon too.
Okay. All these toppings would fit either or.
Yes.
Okay.
But this kind of brings all the flavors together.
See, there's always these little facts that you need to know. So we have all our ingredients in the bowl, but yet there's still more to come.
There's still more. I like a little bit of green onion on there. I like to add a little bit of soybeans, some edamame here, crab salad, pickled ginger. This is masago, so these are fish eggs from seaweed salad. And a lot of these you'll find in Hawaii as a side. So when you go to some poke places, they'll have like seaweed salad in a container as like a side dish. Same thing with the pickled ginger. This is fukujinzuke, and that's served as a side dish as well, most commonly. I like to add some avocado as well. This is a mix of like sushi kind of seaweed, and it's shredded, and it's got some sesame seeds in there.
My adventurous side.
It just adds a little bit of extra flavor.
It is really flavorful.
Yeah, and it just adds that little extra bit.
Doesn't that look delicious?
Some nori.
What is that?
It's seaweed,
Oh,
shredded seaweed. Onion and garlic.
Daniel Lee's favorite poke bowl right here. At Pokehana, you can see that it's all about the blending of flavors and so many different types of topping and main ingredients. Really is quite a fun experience. And Daniel, before we eat, describe what do we have that makes these two dishes different from your dish and mine?
Right, so here, right over here, we have the tuna hana, and that bowl comes with ahi tuna. It comes with the hana dressing. It also has a little bit of different types of toppings with the crab salad, mango, and masago. And on this side, we have the salmon tuna maikai, and this one we chose a salad base. And also this one comes with ahi tuna and salmon. And it comes with the classic dressing, so that's the one that was a little bit more traditional soy sauce and sesame oil. And it has a little bit of different variety of toppings on top, like seaweed salad.
And jalapenos. Look at these dishes right here. Look at these bowls. Do we even need condiments? But you have them for those that want them.
Yeah, so I have them for anybody that wants to put a little bit more on top. So we have the sriracha here that it adds a little bit of spiciness. And then also some people go with putting a little bit of soy sauce on top. And we also have the togarashi, which is just Japanese red pepper flakes to add a little bit of spice.
Do you use that? Which one do you use?
I do it without the condiments, yeah.
All right. Well, I see you have your chopsticks in hand over there.
Yeah.
Daniel, thank you so much. This has really been a lot of fun. Remember, you're going to Hawaii, you've come back from Hawaii. If you want to find authentic Hawaiian food, you can find it right here at Pokehana in La Quinta. Thanks so much.
Thank you. And let's eat.
All right, I'm ready. This portion of Traveling with Françoise is brought to you by Indian Ridge Country Club in Palm Desert. Love where you play. Diane Williams and Associates. Trust experience, experience trust. Pokehana in La Quinta and Palm Desert, home to the fresh crafted poke bowl. Bonta Restaurant and Bar in Cathedral City for incredible culinary cuisine. Welcome back to Traveling with Françoise. If you're not full yet, I'm certainly not. We're going to travel the streets of 3 different countries. On this journey, we'll tantalize your taste buds with authentic cuisines from Germany, Argentina, and Italy. Common German dishes include schnitzel, wurst or sausage, and apple strudel. Argentina is particularly famous for its wine and its beef. The asado, an elaborate meal of grilled meat, is one of the most important culinary traditions in the country. However, Argentina's cuisine is very influenced by Europe and includes many Spanish-style dishes, Italian pasta and pizzas, and French pastries. And of course, Italy. Italians are known for their use of herbs in cooking, especially oregano, basil, thyme, parsley, rosemary, and sage, with foods offering an abundance of taste. It may look like I'm sitting in the living room chatting with friends, but I am in the waiting room here at Bonta Restaurant in Cathedral City, the restaurant that serves a culinary adventure from German food to Argentinian food to Italy. So we're going to cross a lot of countries, but before we do that, we are going to talk to the owners and, of course, the chef. With me now is Chef Hector Salvatierra and Petra.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I am great, thank you. And I love this feel. I love the setting when you walk into Bonta. I already feel like I'm family. And with that said, Chef, can you please tell us, what does Bonta mean?
Bonta means goodness or bountifulness. It depends how you use it. It's a Italian terminology. And it came about because that's what we built the restaurant around. A bountiful of food and a bountiful of friends and family.
Well, I know you're going to be describing your dishes from different countries, and we're really excited about that. And I also know that you need to get into the kitchen and prepare some of those dishes.
I am, can't wait to show you.
So we're going to let you go ahead and do that. And Petra, you and I, let's talk about the family heritage, how your heritage works into the menu items here at Bonta. So Petra, I hear a little bit of an accent. Tell us about your heritage.
Well, you sure hear an accent here. It's Austrian. I was born near Salzburg. My grandmother came from Bavaria and she met my grandfather on the train going from Munich to Salzburg. She was a conductor and my grandfather was a soldier, and that's how we ended up in Austria.
Right, now I heard a little story that Chef Hector won you over with his cooking. Is that true?
Yes, he did. And it was actually a paella. The thing was, I decided to cook for him on our first date. It was a German dish, but I have to say I'm not the best cook. And I burned everything because I was not used to the stoves here in the United States, a gas stove, so my German potato pancakes did not come out well. But he was very polite, raised by his mom, and he swallowed the food, but I could tell something was not tasting well. And he said it was an acquired taste at that time.
An acquired taste.
So shortly, the next date we had, he made me a paella, and it was the best thing I've ever had in my life. And that day I said to myself, if we stay together, it will be the last time I cook for this gentleman.
And is that true?
It is.
It's true. So how did you incorporate your dishes into Bonta?
Well, I took Hector back to Austria when we realized that we were going to have a future together. I took him over to Austria, introduced him to my family, and him and my grandmother would always be together in the kitchen and cook together. My step-grandfather says, come outside and help me paint the house, and he was like, okay. But he always preferred to stay with my grandmother, and she taught him all the different recipes.
Throughout this episode, I keep reminding everyone that the reason I'm doing this show is so you know where you can go get authentic food from different countries that either you're traveling to or you just got back from. And right here at Bonta, let's talk about these incredible dishes. This is a culinary adventure in itself right here, Chef. So let's start with Germany.
Well, Germany, let's start out with it. One of our favorite dishes in the restaurant is our sausage platter combination. Nuremberg bratwurst and a spicy Polish sausage, okay, served with our homemade sauerkraut and our sweet and sour German red cabbage, served with a nice German spicy mustard, okay. And then the other German dish that we have here right now, of course, is for dessert, is our apple strudel. This is what we call Oma's apple strudel. Oma in German means grandma. And this strudel is just has a really nice story to it, how I came about to the strudel. And this, every time we serve it or offer it, that story goes along with it. And then from the Argentinian side of it, we have our traditional empanadas. The empanadas are little pockets with a flaky crust. They're made with, these particular ones I put here are made with beef. We make them in 3 other flavors. This is my grandmother's recipe, followed by my aunt would continue doing her recipes, and then my father. And we have our recipes for that. They've been made since the middle of 1900s, you know?
Chef Hector, I have used the word authentic. You talk about ingredients and the authenticity of these family recipes. Tell us a little bit about the ingredients. What sets them apart? What makes these dishes shine because of the ingredients?
Well, you know what? When we say authentic, we use authentic spices and ingredients in these dishes. I travel far on a monthly basis to Los Angeles, 120 miles each way, to buy certain spices. For instance, the chimichurri that we use to marinate the chicken has a special pepper that comes from Argentina. And this pepper is it's a chili, but it's a woody pepper. It's not spicy, and it gives that. When you eat it, you'll say, in Argentina, we'll say, "Oh my God, this tastes like Argentinian food." You know. Same thing with German mustard, real German mustard from Germany, not just a store-bought mustard, real German mustard from Germany. You know, great olives, great basil. All the ingredients that we use are authentic. Nobody can replicate it. You know, it's like the oregano you see on this dish right here. Mm-hmm. That is not just plain oregano. That's Argentinian oregano.
All right, that's what I want to hear. Okay,
okay,
now this beautiful shrimp dish, I'm saying that sort of speaks Italian to me. Am I right?
Oh yes, that is Italian. Yeah. Well, I took an old favorite, you know, of a caprese salad, and we did balsamic vinegar that we had reduced fig into it, and so I just painted it on there, and it since has been one of the favorite dishes of the house. You know.
Well, and this fish in front of me, gorgeous.
So that is the sole rustica. Rustica is an Italian dish from the southern part of Italy. It hits a little bit of the Mediterranean flavors. I mean, it has Kalamata olives, it has capers, artichoke hearts. They're all slowly braised in a pan with, you know, fresh lemon and white wine.
Well, the excitement of coming to Bonta is, again, that you can travel the world and have these fantastic dishes, and we want to talk a little bit about the recipes that you have. You have a secret weapon for your recipes here at Bonta.
Don't forget about the family Bible here.
Oh yes.
This is just priceless. Show our audience, where did these recipes come from?
I have stuff written by my father, like this one right here is actually for the empanadas that you see over here. Okay. Then I have another one which has the chimichurri. Let me see. I have to look for it. Let me see where.
I love this. I think this is so fabulous.
This chimichurri is when I was years ago. My dad and I were talking about it, and him and I were having breakfast, and he wrote the recipe down on a napkin. And I've had it here. This will stay here. You know, my dad is no longer here. I get emotional about it, but it stays there in plastic, and I'll always have his writing and his recipes on there. You know, so that's kind of like our family Bible.
Fantastic. Oh, so delicious. I hope you enjoyed this special episode of Traveling with Françoise, where we had a taste of cuisines from around the world that you can get right here at home in the Coachella Valley. So until next time, be adventurous, go out and try all these delectable dishes, and remember, it's never too late to get a life.
Hey, want to travel? I'll take you there. Want to dine? I'll tell you where. Play golf? I'll pick the spot. Nightlife? I know it's hot. Want to travel? I'll take you there. Want to dine? I'll tell you where. Play golf? I'll pick the spot. Nightlife? I know it's hot. It's never too late to get a life.